Welcome to episode 23 of the Tough Draw Talks podcast. I'm your host, Brad Hughes. Appreciate you being along for the ride. We are so pumped to be right here in Las Vegas at the 2022 National Finals Rodeo at the Las Vegas Convention Center. We are on the second floor at the Lane Frost brand booth. Appreciate them sponsoring this episode and bringing this to y'all. And we are set up right outside the Junior World National Finals, where you'll hear rodeo going on in the background, but it's just all part of the atmosphere. Today, we are excited to be joined by LF brand athlete and Kansas Cowboy Trey Holston. Trey, how's it going, man?
Oh, it's awesome, dude. The sun is out today. It's warming up a little bit. We're on the second floor of the Convention Center. National Final Rodeo, man, 2022. Don't get much better.
Yeah, I mean, this is your first one. This is breaking you in, right?
Right.
Are you shaking out the jitters? Are you kind of getting used to Vegas? Have you ever been out to Vegas before?
I have been out to Vegas before,
Okay.
a bunch of times, actually. And so I'm getting ready last night thinking, I've been here before. I've been in Vegas. I've seen some lights, and there's nothing that compares to the National Finals Rodeo, period.
Well, that's awesome, man. We're going to dive in on that in just a few minutes, but I think you've listened to some podcasts, so you know we like to start with some of the icebreaker type questions.
Oh, yeah.
So let's dive in and just get started and shake some of these jitters off, right?
Got it.
So what's your favorite food?
My favorite food, sushi.
Sushi.
Easy.
All right. Cowboy that loves sushi. All right.
I'm wild. I'm crazy.
So how does that work while you're on the road?
That actually works pretty good, especially when I get out on the West Coast, but I really don't eat it a whole lot, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I've kind of managed a good little diet through gas stations. But when I can, I'll definitely stop and get some sushi.
Will you eat gas station sushi?
I've done it before, yes. I've done it
before.
I've done
You've
it.
done it before. All right. Well, I mean, you're still sitting here, so I guess it couldn't have been that bad. What would you be doing if you weren't riding bulls?
I really have no idea. I've thought of that a lot. I've had things come in and out of my mind. I've tried things. I've tried my hand at other things. I enjoy baseball. I enjoy welding. I enjoy working with the right people, but I don't know. I don't know. If it did, it'd be a dice roll. But, man, I really enjoy what I do.
Yeah. I guess somebody just made a good ride because it got super loud out there. Again, just to remind y'all, we're by the Junior NFR setup, and it's really cool that those young kids get to compete out here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's stellar. I was here, last time I was here, I believe, was in maybe 2014, 13, something like that. It used to be the NBR, which was the Miniature Bull Riders Association. Yeah. And that was one of the, looking back, being here at the National Finals Rodeo now, stellar that they did that and that they're doing this now. It used to be bull riding alone, but they've got lights on you. They've got noise, sound. You've got all these people you never met before saying, oh, look at that cute little kid getting on bulls,
Yeah.
And it really does give you a little advance of the environment. It really does.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So you did compete out here as a young kid?
I did
Awesome.
in the NBR.
Awesome. So what's your favorite movie?
Doctor Strange, the first one.
All right.
Doctor Strange.
So a Marvel fan or just Doctor Strange?
No, I'm a Marvel fan. I'm a nerd. I like that stuff, dude. I like it.
Have you watched every movie in order in the Marvel universe?
No, I'm not that big.
I bet Stetson has.
I bet you Stetson's smart when it comes to that stuff. He's good at that, but no, I have not.
He's all into that superhero stuff. We love you, Stetson. All right, so this one, as you've probably heard, this one's one of those that, it leads to a lot of really good conversation, but because you've listened to the podcast, you have a little bit of a leg up, but what's the best compliment you've ever received?
I tell you what, I've been ready for that question. This year in Ellensburg, man, I got my butt handed to me by one of Chad Berger's bulls and at the Extreme Bulls, and I was walking away, my head down, pouting, crying, whining. And Tyler Taylor, a friend of mine from Texas, he came by and put his arm around me. He's laughing. He's always having a good time. And he said, man, I want to tell you something. He's like, I want to let you know that as a man, you have really progressed. He's like, I've seen so much better of you this year. And I told him, I was like, man, that's seriously the best compliment I ever had. And that just meant a lot to me because there's more than bull riding, being a good man, being a good friend. And for him to come over and take time to tell me that meant a lot.
Yeah. TT is Mr. Positivity, isn't he?
He is Mr. Positivity.
I like Tyler a lot, man. That's interesting you bring up Tyler because, this kind of leads into some of these questions that I wanted to dive into. So when I met you, you were like fresh-faced out of high school, and you were doing Tough Hedeman events.
Yeah.
That's where I first met you, and obviously TT and Cody Rostocki and guys like that. You know, Tough used them as media a lot, but like, you know, what was that like? Because I mean, you competed fresh out of high school at some of Tough's events, right?
Yeah, what a wild way to start. Honestly, I look back at it now because everyone had these big goals of PRCA world champion, or they left out, I will be a PBR man, you know.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't talked about enough, I don't think, Tough Hedeman bull ridings.
Yeah.
What a great events to be at. If there were more, I think it would be, at the time, you know, there was quite a bit going on, but it wasn't like a year-round thing. But gosh dang, they paid you a lot to win the world. Every weekend was just crazy money added, great bulls, great environment. A lot of PBR guys or PRC guys that would sneak over and come to those deals. You're around great people. But that's where I started out. And I don't think I could have started a better way. Sadly, some things went a different way. Kind of, it ended, and sad to see that go. But yeah, I started out with Tough Hedeman deals, and I think that was one of the best things that could have happened to me at that time.
Absolutely. And, you know, going to talk a little bit about Tough, because, you know, I feel like a lot of people think they know who Tough is because they watched 8 Seconds and saw Stephen Baldwin and stuff, but just talk to us a little bit about Tough and maybe what he meant to you as a young kid. I know when we had Eli Vasponder on us, one of our very first episodes, he talked a lot about Tough. Tough really kind of, he said a number of things to him, kind of took him under his wing and helped him and stuff. What about Tough? What's your relationship with him, and kind of what did that mean to you as a young rider?
Yeah, I'll step right into that. I think, first of all, that the public view of Tough Hedeman is skewed. That's a phenomenal man.
Yeah.
Won't get into it, but there was a time when some issues were arising, and he stepped out and did some things at his own time, his own pocket, and really took care of some young bull riders. And just shout out for Tough for that. I appreciate that greatly. There was some stuff going on.
Were you there that night?
I was there.
Hobbs?
I got third that night.
Oh.
I got third that night. First time I rode a Final Four
You
bull.
were thankful for Tough that night.
I was very thankful for Tough. What a big night that was. But
yeah, we were there too.
You know, I'm kind of an odd man when it comes to the history of bull. When growing up, I didn't pay attention to that stuff a whole lot.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say about Tough Hedeman was that there's a way of going about things with him, and man, there's no bull crap.
Yeah.
It's straight through. He's very transparent. He's gonna tell you how he feels, and I appreciate that greatly. Going to his bull ridings, there was no cushion on this bull, that bull. He told you how it was, and that's greatly appreciated.
Yeah. No, and I feel like with his events, he always took on young guys that were fresh out of high school. I know you were one that they, like Chris Rankin would make a big deal about with how young you were, and Cole Skinder when he came in and stuff like that, and Cody Jesus obviously, and all that. So yeah, I mean, I think that's really cool that that's kind of where the ice was broken for y'all, so to speak.
Yeah, that Cole Skinder, I was there on the day he rode Dirty Secret, a bull of Jeff's. And we were all like, oh, who is this kid? You know, and he goes out and sticks one, I believe he's 89. And you got, like you said, Cody Jesus, stud. No one spurs harder than Cody Jesus. But yeah, what an awesome place.
Oh yeah. Well, let's kind of backtrack just a little bit. I said you were the Kansas Cowboy, stuff like that. Tell me a little bit about your background. Where are you from? Did your family rodeo, and kind of how you got into bull riding?
Yeah, nothing irregular. Started as a sheep rider 3. My dad came from Pennsylvania to ride bulls. Wasn't the biggest thing back there, so he came to Kansas, which is a little closer to cowboy country. And he initiated me when I was 3. Get on sheep, worked my way through calves, steers, little bulls, bigger bulls, you know. But being a Kansas bull rider, man, it's popular. It's a big thing in southeast Kansas, and even in Missouri. There's a lot going on, and now, you know, we got J.R. Stratford.
That's what I was about to say. There's a couple of y'all here now.
Yeah, he's a western Kansas guy, but he's a southwestern Missouri person too. So he steps right across the line in Missouri when he lives over there. Man, it's great. It really is. That town I come from, it's really rodeo oriented. It's not the biggest thing ever, but there's a lot of people that rodeo there. They take it seriously as well. So I grew up around a lot of rodeo, actually, but it was good growing up. Nothing crazy, man, just right through the ranks.
What is it about the rodeo community and Western culture in general, like, you know, whether it's what we're doing through Tough Draw or what we're doing with the doc, stuff like that, you hear and you just see the family element of Western culture. Like for you, obviously growing up in rodeo, what was that like, and kind of that community element?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not hidden by no means. It's clear as day for rodeo people. It's a family deal, and how awesome is that? It's kind of becoming a lost art, I feel like in other sports and stuff.
Really, in our world.
Yeah, that's
as
true.
As much as anything, yeah.
And I'm just a bull rider, so I don't know much on that part, but I do know for me, it's meant a lot to me. Growing up in high school, having friends that rodeoed through high school rodeo. Even in my hometown, I had people I could travel with. In my hometown, not many people can say that. So it's been one of the biggest parts of my life, actually.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about, Josh talked about this a lot, especially on last year's podcast, and we talked about it today, but like he traveled with Sage last year, and how that really helped him. Who did you travel with, and what does a travel partner mean?
That's damn near everything right there. I mean, that's your right-hand man, and you are to him too. So I had several traveling partners throughout the year. My mentality this year was, hey, I'm going to rodeos. If you want to go, come on. If not, I'll see you later.
Jump in the truck.
But I was very thankful. A man by the name of Bubba Gregg.
Yep.
Dang sure.
He had a great rookie season.
Made
he really
a mark
did.
this year, and unfortunately due to some injury, didn't go well. But we traveled together. We like to strangle each other there towards the end of when we was going together. But there was just a way of going about things between me and him that really set the tone initially. It was there was a bull riding in Missouri. And he'd seen me, and he was by himself, and he said, hey, are you rodeoing this year? I said, rodeo? And he's like, I want to win I told him, I was like, I want to win a world title. He's like, I want to talk to you. And that, from right then on, was just, goes to show how important it is to have someone like that in your corner. But, time and time again, you'll hear it, the Sage and Josh, everybody. It's important.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. So let's talk a little bit about this. So you were a rookie in 2020. How did your rookie season go? Obviously, with that being the COVID year and stuff like that. And then, here you are now. You're making your first World Finals. So, talk a little bit about that.
Oh, man, that's a big part. It's dang sure one of the biggest milestones in my career. By far the worst season I'd probably ever had, to be honest with you. And it had nothing to do with COVID. By far one of the worst seasons, one of the worst riding parts of my life, and other things were going on too. COVID ended up being a really good excuse for me to stop riding bulls for a little bit, to be honest with you. I was getting to a point to where I was burnt out. I didn't want to do it anymore. I'd been doing this for a while. Unfortunately, had seen big lights for a while, and I was done. I wanted to be out, and COVID in an invisible way was one of the best things that's ever happened to me. For sure. It gave me a really good excuse to stop. I was a college kid at the time. I started really indulging in the college life, which was not necessarily good, but it was good for me to see the backside. I'd never stopped riding bulls. I've always rode bulls, period. And that time, when COVID hit, it was time for me. I finally told myself, hey, if you want me done, let's be done. Let's cut the crap. And I did. I put the bull rope up, and I didn't really tell anybody. But in my back of my mind, I knew I wasn't done, but I knew that I needed to step away for sure, like actually tell myself, hey, let's not ride bulls. Let's see what it's like to not ride bulls. And it was good until it wasn't. I found that I really missed it, man. I found out that's through a lot of podcasts, actually, and talking to people. I think that's why I'm here. I think that's why I was put on earth by God. And I came back with a lot of fire. So COVID year was wild. It was the worst yet best year of my life, and a huge learning curve. And here we are, 2.5 years later from when that stuff really started, and it couldn't be better, man. So that was one of the greatest things that happened to me.
That's really interesting. You take such a negative kind of a situation and look at it and can view reflectively as a positive, right?
Right.
And I don't know if you want to expound on any of that or not, but just kind of curious if you can kind of detail what was it, now that you've had a chance to look back, what was it that really kind of made you want to step away? Like, I know you burnout. I mean, a lot of people with different jobs go through burnout and different things like that, like filmmaking, anything, right? But for you, what was it? What did you feel like was really kind of pushing you to that, just like, I don't want to do this anymore? Man,
it was a brain-racking thing for the longest time. I had no idea. Like, I had always thought I was here to do that. I was here to ride bulls, and but I didn't want to do it anymore. And come to find out, through a lot of searching, it wasn't easy by no means. Like, that's a hard pill to swallow. You do something for 20 years straight, and then you're done. What I had figured out is I had constantly compared myself to the black abyss of perfection. Perfection this, perfection that. Even if I would go out and win, there was something I could have done better. So
just almost got obsessed with that.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was, man. And a lot of little lessons in that, but the overall picture was just constant perfection. I was comparing myself to perfection. Man, I could go out and be 90, but man, if I would have spurred that bull, I could have been 91. You know, it was constant, just dogging myself. I never
just wasn't good enough.
Yeah, it wasn't good enough for myself ever. And when I changed that and I saw that from that perspective, it was like not one light bulb, but 20 went off in my brain. I was like, oh my gosh, I can learn more. You know, this is so much room for growth. Not only have I had this experience, but now I can throw in knowledge. I'm learning things, and that was through a man named Michael Chandler, who's a UFC guy, and I really enjoy watching him. But I'd heard a podcast with him, and he talked about, he's like, that's a deadly thing, comparing yourself to perfection, but simply holding yourself to a higher standard.
Yeah.
Having friendly pressure put on yourself to grow and know you're capable of more, and truly setting standards for yourself that you believe you can get there, but you know that it's going to be a difficult path. That looks a whole lot different than perfection does. So
absolutely,
that was the one thing. And then followed that right on the back burner of that was just simply learning how to be optimal. I think 2020 is a amazing testament to the fact that the world didn't know what was going on. You know, there was no this highest performance anymore. We had to be optimal.
Yeah.
What was best for us at the time? No one knew what was going on. Business, bull riding, rodeo, other sports. So how cool of a lesson that was for me. And it came in such a crazy time, you know, a pandemic. But that's what I learned, man, was that I was comparing myself to perfection constantly. And what a deadly game that is.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 23.
You're wise beyond your years, sir.
I don't know about that.
No, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I feel like a lot of people, it takes them, like, some people never figured that out. So, you know, I hope you realize how big of a blessing that is that you were able to realize that at such an early age like you did. So, you know, obviously it's one thing to realize that, and it's one thing to realize that, it's one thing to, you know, to like say, okay, I'm going to do it different. But like, how do you, like, what are the ways that you kind of hold yourself accountable in that respect?
So, oh man, there's so much. There really is so much, but it's not at the same time. And for me, starting and really focusing on myself, putting myself in the best position. A cool little thing I'll share. One thing I say every time before I ride, and even when I wake up throughout the day, at night, I talk to God a lot throughout the day. But it's just, I just pray to be the best man that I can be, and I pray to be the best man for the people around me. And I just ask you keep helping me with bull riding. That's what I ask God every day. And if I can focus, like I ask for that, but I really focus on the tools that He gives me.
Absolutely.
Man, whatever I can do to get 1% better today, I'll do whatever that is, man. I love that. So really focusing on 1% at a time, and keeping stuff simple, man. As complex as everything is, just do something to be better every day. It's scary if you make it a big thing, but if you focus on today, tomorrow will get here. I promise you. If He wants it with you, you'll get it. And so, man, whatever you can do today to be 1% better, learn, grow as a man and a bull rider, that's all it is.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, thank you for sharing that, because I know that's a big deal. But you know, and like, you know, I don't know if you're aware of this or know a lot about this, but I talked to Justin Falisco about sports psychology and kind of the mental side of it. You know, is that something you've had any experience with? Is that, you know, to be honest, like, I didn't really know that much about sports psychology and, you know, the ability to call somebody and kind of talk through things and stuff like that. Is that something that you have ever utilized, if you're comfortable sharing that? And then also, what is that like, or what do you know about it?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely have, and that's something new. Before, I will say, growing up, and before I think I really hit a good maturing point, and not to say that I don't have more to come, but a good maturing point, I learned that there's only so many moves you can do in bull riding. There's only so many bulls you can get on. There's only so much working out you can do before you're exhausted or actually need to rest. And I was like, okay, it's time to take my mind to the next level, and I think this year was a testament to that. I definitely had a mental coach throughout this entire summer. Changed my game, and
that's amazing.
By no means was it like her alone, but us together, allowing me to hit a wall and say, okay, Miss Paige champion now. That's who it was I worked with. hey, what do we do now? This is not good. I'm not comfortable. I don't want to lose this way again. Let's talk. And for me to be able to reach out once a week, little Band-Aid calls here and there, changed my game. And that really was just me sucking up my pride. And that was a big learning curve. Yeah, having a mental coach is huge. We're in such a bravado sport, such a macho man, smoke a cigarette, drink the beer, cuss a little bit, throw your stuff down, It's hard to suck up your pride a little bit and go, hey, I need help. I need help in this deal. It's not all just rough and tough cowboy, It's hard. And at this level, you see people that have these mental games that are out of this world. I wish everyone could sit down and talk about it. And I love being able to do this podcast because there's guys that sit on these podcasts and can really translate their story well. And that's where I learn a lot about things like this. But rambling now. Yeah, I had a mental coach this summer, and I think that was awesome, a game changer.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this, and did you listen to Falisco's podcast?
With you guys?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that yet.
Okay. Listen to that. But so we transitioned for, we talked about your riding partners possibly and kind of that mentality going down the road, the mental coach. This all kind of ties together, but I'm curious to get your thoughts on the PBR teams because one of the things that Justin and I talked about, and it was great to get his perspective and insight on it, but when we talked, it's like that team dynamic of like, and Josh and I talked about this yesterday, but it's interesting because it's like I may go 90, but I want that guy next to me that's on my team. He needs to go 93 if he can, and it's like that dynamic of kind of supporting each other. What are your thoughts on the PBR teams just in general? I know you have Tate rides for Oklahoma, doesn't he?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts. Is that something you'd be interested in doing someday, stuff like that?
Yeah, I definitely, two of my biggest goals now that's left for me to do in my career is I'd like to win a PRCA world title and a PBR world title. And
there you go.
There's some more behind that. But looking at seeing Tate there, and I'll start from a really good base, just my strict opinion.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Because in a way, if you're not evolving, if you're not moving forward with times, the world is constantly changing. In a way, you're regressing, right?
Yep.
So to see them take a step forward and, advance into something as wild and as crazy as it was talked about as a PBR, a bull riding team deal on that level, I think that's phenomenal. How cool is
absolutely.
that? And so that's my opinion on the whole thing. But from guy to guy, I've had some friends in there, Colton Fritzland, Tate Pallmeyer.
Yep.
Those guys are so excited to have the opportunity and the resources that those guys let them have there.
Absolutely. The coaches, the mentors, the strength coach.
And some of the guys are like, oh, I'm not doing this and that. But some guys are really taking advantage of what's possible. I mean, it's every aspect. It's just like any other professional sport. Basketball, football, they got every aspect of the game, every corner is right there for them. So I think that's phenomenal, and what a cool, different way to go about bull riding in a team aspect.
Yeah. What in your mind? You talked about it being a man sport and macho and stuff like that. What is it? Just in general, like you as a bull rider, it's you against that bull, stuff like that. Like I think a lot of people's opinions of the teams is formed by, bull riding's not a team sport, right? Do you have any opinion on just kind of that in general of like, if the individualism versus the team element?
Yeah, I think that just as if you were doing somehow with any other sport, bull riding's not, it is as crazy as it is. It's not from outer space, it's no different. The steps it takes to be a world champion, I believe. They're extreme, their dedication, hard work, all those beautiful things. But to see these guys step in together as a team, I think you really see some stuff bleed out in a different way. You see some guys who are really stepping up. One of my favorite things this year is watching Daniel Keeping go 90 like 20 times in a row or whatever. Right? So I think you've seen some guys really advance in a way that they would have never got to do alone.
Exactly. I think it's interesting because, in doing the documentary, you talk to Tuff, and he talks about him and Jim Sharp and Lane and Clint Bronger and people like that, and how they'd show up to rodeos, and it's like, we're going to win all the money. I mean, you might as well be doing that together.
Right.
It's kind of like take your traveling partners and just kind of own it and be like, we're going to go rock the world, right?
Right.
I don't know, that's the way I've kind of viewed it, and that might be a kind of a surface level way, but when I hear Tuff say that kind of stuff about, and I know Kendra called him the Wolf Pack, Kendra Santos, so it's like, in that same kind of way, it's almost like, I feel like that's what's happening. It's creating those types of bonds and making people better, like you said. I feel like anybody that's on the Austin Gamblers is going to benefit from being around Jose.
Right, it's inevitable.
Learn that mentality,
Yeah, it's inevitable. You'll never see, it's not a thing. You don't take two great guys, put them together, and they get worse. They're going to bounce stuff off each other. And with someone as prolific as Jose Victor Leme, and there's more guys than that have awesome mindsets, good past and history of bull riding. It's not a thing. You just don't put two of these great things together and get something worse, So
absolutely.
Success is not eating itself here. I think it's an awesome thing. You see it through rodeo. You just have traveling partners, 2 to 3 guys at a time. The difference is these guys got a name on it. That's their event. That's their sport over here in the PBR.
Exactly.
I think it's great, man. I really do.
Absolutely. Very cool, man. Well, shifting gears just a little bit. So, again, just to reset, we're sitting here by the Junior NFR. That's some of the noise you've been hearing. Apparently, the event ended really strong. But we are very, very thankful and blessed that Stetson Frost of the Lane Frost brand has given us space here at the booth. And you are a Lane Frost brand athlete.
Yeah.
You and Lucchese and Josh are here, representing, obviously, your state, your sponsors, etc., and all 3 of you are representing the Lane Frost brand. What does that mean to you to be a part of the Lane Frost brand?
Yeah, I would definitely like to start by saying something good about Stetson, man. What a cool dude.
I know, right?
Stetson's awesome, and it's not just this average business, which I don't think anything at this level he's created here is just this norm, but everyone sees that. Don't get a chance to sit down and talk to Stetson like I have. Man, Stetson's a cool dude. Stetson's outgoing. Stetson's hardworking. Stetson's great, dude, and I've definitely curated my circle here in the past few years, and he's someone I've always wanted in it. And there was times when I didn't have to be in his circle, and he that's one of the biggest things actually that happened this year. I had a conversation with him, and man, it was kind of when I was down and out. It was when that COVID was going on. I was just there. I wanted to make him happy, I wanted to see him. And there was a time when he wouldn't let me walk out of the room. He kept asking me questions. Hey, what about this?
Yeah.
Hey, Trey, answer this.
Yeah.
Made me deal with some things, right? I didn't want to talk about it.
Stetson don't play. He'll pull back the layers, even if you don't want to or talk about it or whatever.
Yeah, so that's as a base of Lane Frost brand, Stetson running that stuff. What an awesome person to be in business with. What an awesome person to have in my corner. I got that guy's back. He's awesome. So that's start off Lane Frost brand, and what an awesome thing to rep. Yeah. Lane Frost, the man himself. We got this clothing with his name on it in a cool way.
Yeah.
You got some style with history on you constantly. So I'm happy and blessed to be able to rep something like that.
That's amazing, man. Yeah, we just, from our perspective of the Lane Frost brand, I can echo everything you've said about Stetson. Stetson and I have become very close over the past several years, and working on this documentary, like, what a family to be involved with, and a blessing to be a part of that legacy, right? Because, you are. When you wear that patch and wear that brand, you're part of the legacy that Lane continues to leave even today, right?
Yeah, especially on this level. You're seeing it.
Exactly,
this is
at the biggest stage, right by the yellow bucking chutes and all,
Yellow bucking chutes, man. Yeah, I proudly wear this patch on my shirt.
That's awesome, man. Well, all right, last night. It's fine. We're gonna turn the tide right here, all right? Last year, Josh was on. He was 0 for 12, and all of a sudden he won. He rode 7 out of 8 right after that. All right, so we're changing your luck right now. Who you got tonight? What are you excited about? And just kind of go through what happened last night, because I know you know this because you're smart, obviously, and well beyond your years wisdom-wise. But what happened last night, and what do you feel like you need to do different, and who you got tonight, and what you thinking?
So we'll start with the not so good news first. I bucked off last night. Had a bull I've been wanting to get in all year long. Really cool bull called By the Batch. Man, things were hot and heavy. Like I said, there's nothing like being there on the yellow chutes. No excuses. Been there a million times. Hand was a little loose in my rope after I got jammed in the front chute. Easy deal. Shift my hips over. I really feel like if I run that bull again, I get to ride him. I think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So my goal for moving on tonight was just riding with more intention. I listed down a few things I thought I could have done better, and tonight I'm gonna move with intention. I think it's gonna go well. Tonight I got another bull. I was screaming and jumping around in my room when I got my draw, but a bull called Mr. Clean, Julio Moreno owns him, Big Brindle. Man, I got to see like 3 guys go 90 on him this year, and I can't wait. I've been wanting to get on him all year long. So I'm just gonna move with intention tonight, and I'm excited, man.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So what pin of bulls is this? Do you know? Do you kind of know how they break them down?
Yeah. So this is the E pin, and funny enough, I fought for this bull not to be in the E pin. I thought he was so good. I thought him a 3 or 4, which is a different set of bulls, obviously, or a 3 pinner. But anyway, yeah, Mr. Clean in the E pin tonight. You know, this is the go pick the biggest guy in the bar to pick a fight. This is tonight, so this will be a good one to watch.
Sweet, man. Is there a bull that's here that you really want to get on?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a few of them, and tonight's one of them. Mr. Clean was one of them I want to get on.
Yeah.
But Yellowstone.
Okay.
I was one of the first guys to ever get on that bull when he was younger, and I rode him in the practice pen, and he's obviously grown up a little bit and got a few more scores put on him. And what a stud! I would love to get on him. And then Cord McCoy's got a pretty good bull here. I would love to get on him.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Josh talked a lot about him yesterday. Have you ever been on riding solo?
I haven't, but I got to witness firsthand that Bubba Gregg I was talking about before.
Yeah.
He said, dude, he got on him.
In Atoka.
In Atoka.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was there at the Atoka Extreme Bulls.
He said, you have no idea. He's like, that bull was bucking so like
dude, he almost, like, I thought if he could have made that one, like, he got leaned back just too far.
Yeah.
But I thought he had him.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I really did.
But I was convinced. I believed. I thought it was happening.
The worst buck out I've ever seen on solo was Dalton.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember that. Dalton and I talked about it. He was like, I want another shot at him. But, man, when he came out, Dalton's feet just, whoop, and he just got slammed.
I haven't seen that video.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But there's a bunch, man. There's a bunch of good bulls out.
Yeah. So let's talk just a little bit about your approach. So, you know, you talked about how last night you bucked off. You kind of looked at some things you could have done different stuff, and especially going back to kind of where you were in 2020 and the adjustments you've made kind of moving forward to really kind of reestablish yourself and recenter your focus and stuff. How do you handle going from event to event, or in this case, something that's 10 rounds long, going round by round by round?
Yeah, first of all, man, I think you got to be grateful. I mean, we're here. The end goal is not accomplished yet, but first of all, you're here. So without being here, there's lessons you can't learn unless you're at these yellow chutes. You know, you can't get the feedback of failure unless you're here to buck off, you know. And something I'm working on is not coming back with or not half and half failure to come back with so much vengeance. But, man, I was not happy last night. Failure does not sit well with me.
Yeah.
So I went back, and I was pretty upset for a while. It's a big moment, you know. It's your first bull. It's your first NFR.
Absolutely.
A bull that you really believe that you can ride, and it didn't go well. So, man, that doesn't sit well with me at all. But I went back to my room last night. My mom went and hung out with her for a little bit, and she tried to make me feel better. And I was pretty sour, so shout out to anybody if I was rude to you guys last night. But, man, I went back and I did some things I would do as if it was regular season. I wrote one of the things I like to do is write down 3 things I thought went right, which took some soul searching last night because I wasn't very happy with it, and then one thing I could work on. And I did that. Talked to a few people, cooled my jets, and man, I got up this morning. I got to do some sit-ups and push-ups. Got on the bike for a little bit, a little sweat equity. I love doing that kind of stuff, and yeah, I'm geared up. I got a fire underneath my ass, and I'm ready to rock and roll.
Let's do it, man. Well, let's take a look at some of these fan submitted questions. I know we'd gotten a couple. We may even pull one from JT over here, so he's running around filming. But yeah, man, so our first question is from Cinnamon, and she asks, what was your favorite ride this year?
Oh, man. That's tough. That's like picking your favorite song, but I got a few in mind. Let's go with, I'm going to say one of my favorites was, I was down and out, and I was pretty tired, and we flew. I think we slept like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Slept like 2 hours, and we got to a rodeo in Oklahoma. Me, Colton Byron, Patterson Starcher, and that we had to turn around and fly back out with 1 hour of sleep. I remember that. I was just thinking, this is ridiculous. What are we doing?
Yeah.
And I got a bull that I rode called High Expectations.
Okay.
Which got his name changed because he'd hooked this one guy so many times that they changed it to Miller Time, one of Andrew's pro rodeos. And man, it was one of the rankest bull rides I made all year long. It was 88. I think that was the highest score ride I had all year long. I was the king of 83s, 85s this year.
Yeah.
But man, I was 88. I was dog tired. And it was just one of those moments where you kind of gut check. Hey, do you really want to be a world champion? Do you just kind of want to be here, bucked off, go pat yourself on the butt and go home?
Yeah.
And I kind of dug deep, had some cool people around me, Trevor Kastner.
Yeah.
And man, it was just, I was blocked out in pure flow state, dog tired, got off. That bull fell on me after the buzzard, and I was like, man, I love this. This is great. So High Expectations, somewhere in Oklahoma, Andrews Pro Rodeo.
Very nice, very nice. Do you have any 90s this year?
No, not a single one.
God. Man, open up a little more.
Yeah, right.
As they come around,
right.
Start spurring.
Right.
All right, so this comes from Cecily. She says, do you have any songs that you get ready to ride to? Do you listen to music to kind of pump yourself up, or what do you do?
Yeah, I don't, beforehand, I get so pumped at the rodeos, but music-wise, I love rock and roll music.
There you go.
I love rock and roll. Put Skid Row on, Leonard Skinner. You cannot go wrong with AC/DC. I listen to a little hip-hop and stuff. I mean, I'm
there you go.
23. I'm part of the era. I like listening to some hip-hop. But yeah, I jam out this music. Nothing specific, nice. Rock and roll and hip-hop.
Awesome, man. This comes from Belinda. She says, and we kind of talked about this, but I'll ask it again just to give you a chance to answer different or whatever. She said, do you have a favorite bull that you like to draw and see your name next to?
Yes. What is that bull's name? Of Shad Smith owns a high horn black bull. I rode him twice this year, and there ain't a better feeling bull out there. Shad Smith, I'm sorry. He's got a black bull I love getting on. He matched up twice.
So you just said something interesting, and I love getting bull riders' perspectives. You said that bull feels amazing, right?
Yeah.
Explain to our audience, kind of break that down of what is it about that bull that feels amazing to you? And because everybody kind of explains it differently, but I just love to get kind of that insight and perspective for our audience.
Yeah, that is interesting, and I think about that. You talk to your buddies, it's never the same. They're like, oh, I love that bull. I'm like, you like that bull right there? Yeah. I like this one over here. For me, he hits pretty soft on his back end, but he lands hard in his front end and comes up in his front end really hard. So it allows me to really get over my rope. And when he kicks, he's breaking over before his front feet hit the ground. So there's like this really cool blissful moment there when he's transferring from front end to the kick, and it's just like
those moments look good in slow-mo on camera too.
Yeah, it's cliche, but it's a dance, man. That is so much fun to be in that time and in that rhythm with a big old black high horn bull, in front of a crowd and just doing your thing.
Absolutely, man. Another question that we have is, this is from Salem. She's one of our friends. She's a little girl, but she says, do you ever worry about dropping your hat during a ride? Which you ride with a helmet, right?
Yeah, I ride in a helmet, which I do worry about that thing coming off.
Yeah? Yeah?
That'd be an issue.
Yeah, it would, a little bit, wouldn't it? Do you ride a 100X helmet?
I do ride in a 100X.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about just your protective equipment and, how grateful you are for it, and just kind of, do you have preferences? Is it about feel? Is it about fit? Just kind of expound on that just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you can get into it deep if you'd like to, and really say, oh gosh, I can't do that. It weighs 2 ounces more, or it weighs 2 ounces less. I'll never ride with that. Man, the truth of the matter is, you're on a wild animal. If he's going to stomp you, he's going to stomp you. Yeah. I do believe that a vest helps. I do believe that a helmet helps. I think a helmet just really keeps your face pretty if you got one. I don't, so it's not too big of a worry. But man, if you're gonna get conked, you're gonna get laid out. You're gonna get laid out. But I do think it. Obviously, we know somebody that could have used a vest once upon a time. So
absolutely, how
grateful we are to have that.
Yeah.
Shaps are for show.
Yeah.
But the helmet and my vest, I'm grateful for. I think I'd wear any of them. I think I get like my little 1% betters. I'm comfortable in a 100X, and I'm comfortable in a Phoenix vest.
Yep.
And I'm not plugging those guys, but those things are comfortable to me.
Yep.
And that's it.
Awesome, man. All right, so Trevor, his handle is T Brown Back. He says, this is Trevor. He said, how's the bright light, brother?
I'm going to first of all say that's one of the smartest, most sport analytic people you ever meet. I think Trevor may be 13. I know him. He's one of my best friends, little brother.
Very cool. Very cool.
He's a little bit of a turd. He's too smart for his own good.
There you go.
Man, it's awesome, Trevor. Thanks for commenting that, having a question for us, buddy. Hope turkey season's coming up soon for him, so he's ready to get some turkey. He loves turkey hunting.
Heck yeah, man. You going to get out there and do so?
I did last year with him. We doubled up on a hunt.
Okay. There you go.
I'm getting into. I wasn't raised around a big hunting scenario, so man, that's a fun thing to do. I'm learning. I got guns and a bunch of stuff like that. I'm working on getting into it.
There you go. All right, so our video photographer guy, JT, has a question for you. All right, so JT's asking, in case y'all couldn't hear him, he said, what's your favorite thing about Vegas?
I think my favorite thing about Vegas, for me, is, man, something about Vegas gives you a little extra superpowers. I feel like throughout the year, you're like, it's going good. There's some rodeos, you're like, gosh dang, but and just being transparent, there's times you don't want to be there. Man, there's times you're tired, you're down and out. In Vegas, it's inevitable. There ain't no energy drink needed. There's no anything. You're electric. And whether you like it or not, I think you got a little edge. Some stuff's a little different here. It's electric. It's exciting. So I'm going to say the atmosphere. It's wild. It's not something I want to be in all year long. After this, I'm sure I'll be ready to go home to my little hut behind the trees and watch sunrise. But, man, it's electric out here. It's wild. It's loud. It's fun.
Very cool, man. And Zach submitted just congrats on being the 2022 Ram Prairie Circuit Finals champ. So does that apply towards next year?
Yeah, it does now.
So you've already kind of got a jump going into next year winning that, right?
Yeah, I got a good little amount of money won towards that. I mean, by no means is going to secure me anything, but it feels good to have a jump like that. Not to mention that was touching back a little bit on the COVID deal.
Yeah.
When that happened, I went to the circuit finals. I think I rode one bull was like 70-some points,
Yeah.
I got to come back there with a different mindset and really try out some things that I had thought that made me better throughout this year. And they really showed out there. Yeah, I had an awesome finals. Cool people around. Benny Butler grabbed me and told me a few things about being out here. So
that's awesome.
It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, man, Trey, I've really, really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you'd like to say to either your fans, Lane Frost fans, or just fans of the sport in general?
Man, I just, in general, as a person, I give myself something beautiful every day. I just say that my God loves me, my family loves me, and
Absolutely.
I love me. And it sounds funny saying that sometimes, but man, I don't need anything else. I got everything I need. So that's a mantra I tell myself every day, and just give that to the people. That's something cool to have.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for sharing that. And again, thanks for being here. And thank you to the Lane Frost brand for having us out. Thank you to Stetson and his team and the Frost family for sponsoring these podcasts and giving us a spot to crash, right?
Heck yeah.
So make sure and go check out lanefrost.com, or if you're here in Vegas, come by the Las Vegas Convention Center. Their booth's on the second floor. I believe it's 3345.
Nailed it.
Right over by the Junior NFR. Trey, where can people find you on social media?
I tell you what, my biggest platform and best to probably go to is Instagram, Trey_Salt_Holston. We do another podcast. Maybe we can talk about my username. It's a little funny. But that's where you can find me on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I don't do Twitter. And I got Instagram, so that's where I'd go find me at.
Well, let's go out here and win some gold buckles.
Yeah, I'm down, man.
We're going to have you back on.
We'll have another podcast after these 10 days.
Hopefully we bring you the same good luck that we think we brought Josh last year.
Thanks,
He's convinced of it anyway. Anyway, so if y'all would, please follow along with us on social media at Tough Draw and at Tough Draw Talks for more episodes of our podcast as we continue to bring y'all closer to the rodeo community. Until next time, everyone, enjoy the ride.